What's up, everybody? My name is Matthew Stratton. So, previously, the day Akai Professional came out with their new firmware, I went ahead and did a live video, and I noticed that live video, the quality wasn't so great on the playback. So, I'm going to go ahead and test out some new software in this particular live stream. Now it is 1:34 in the morning where I'm at, so I don't expect a lot of activity here. But you never know. So what I'm going to do is I have a sequence loaded up here that I've been working on, and I'm using a few of the sounds and the new synthesizers here. So I'm going to go ahead and play it for you, and I just want to share this with you guys. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and play it now. All right, so yeah, there's the first sequence I came up with. Just messing around with the new synthesizers, trying to kind of get an idea what the actual sounds sound like. You know, let's see. I also use some of the new features, like for example, on this drum line here. Let's see if I can show you some things. For example, like right here, I did the whole split event thing, and it was just super easy to make that one snare, you know, to a little. So yeah, that was pretty helpful. I actually did it at the end of this sequence here too, where, you know, it just made it super easy. I just put one note and then do split event, and it kind of gives me a little roll. Thought that was pretty cool with the new features. Yeah, anyway, just wanted to share this. This is also like a test to see how well this live stream actually comes out, because the previous one I did with the 2.3 software was not that great. So hopefully it's showing up a little bit better. But yeah, it's pretty fun. I was also experimenting over here with this bass. You know, just trying to hear what the new bass sounds like. There's a few presets, you know. AC Dancy, what's up? Yeah, I'm digging the new update, so been doing some experimenting. You know, messing with his bass. You know, like, the thing is, you never know what it could actually do until you get in there. This is actually the MPC Live that I'm using here. But yeah, you never know what it could do. I hope it's coming out clear. It's kind of I'm testing out a new streaming application, so but yeah, I just wanted to share that with everybody. So hope you enjoyed. I also got this, you know, I was just loading up different sounds, testing it out. Let's see what else I put in there. You know, I just put this in there so I can go through all the presets. Everything seems crystal clear and nice. I'm actually using I'm using the trial version of this. It's called vMix, and I'm actually using the Logitech HD Pro C920 webcam, and I just messed with all the settings on there to try to get the picture clear. You gotta basically amp like the exposure like way down, because how bright this particular plugin gets, you can't really read anything unless you got certain settings. So, I think it's coming out clear enough. But yeah. So yeah, and I'm actually using a Behringer mixer, the Q1202 USB, and I find this mixer works pretty well. I think it's like $100 mixer, but I got the live plugged right into it. I got my mic plugged right into it, and it's got like a built-in compressor for the microphone and everything, EQs. So. How to spell the app? Let's see. vMix. All right, it's called vMix. So basically, I just, there's a ton of input options on it, and with the standard or with the HD option, you can have 4 different inputs. You could put pictures in there. You could put your whatever you're looking at on your desktop in there. And, I'm using that webcam, like I was saying. So yeah, I think it's coming out pretty good so far. And, let's see. Anyway, I'm just experimenting. It's like middle of the night. Just wanted to share this sequence and really do a test. So I want to do some more live streaming coming up. So basically want to set everything up, and have it on lockdown. That way, whenever I want to do it, I could just go live. What else was I thinking? Yeah, working out the kinks for sure. Yeah, I used to use the machine, and I wasn't able to really wrap my brain around it. Like I got it, like I understood it, but like actually getting into the workflow of it was challenging to me, in like laying out the sequences, and just because I had used the MPC previously before. Like I used to have the 1000, so I understood how that worked. And then going into the machine, it was just kind of different. And then I'm not bashing machine, because it's definitely got a lot of power. But yeah, I used machine on Mark 1. Like when it first came out, I got the first machine. Yeah, the live definitely cost a bit more, but it's definitely, there's something about standalone as well, having it just like in the box right there. There's like rather than having everything everywhere, especially with these new synths in there, it definitely brings a kind of like a deeper connection to the machine. Yeah, if you want it, you'll get the money for sure. Yeah. Anyway, how's everybody doing tonight? Honestly, actually didn't know what to expect, how many people would actually show up. I was going to play the sequence and be done, but if you got anything on here that you want to see while I got this up, if you don't have the MPC, if you wanted to see something, just let me know, you know. Yeah, I'm doing good. Just got done working, you know, a bunch of overtime, did my work 13-hour shifts, so I had the day off, just doing some resting, trying to get back on this MPC. Yeah, hey, thanks for checking out the videos, man. Definitely, I want to do more, but, you know, got to make that money to keep paying for all this stuff, so. But, I really like the low pass filter on this plugin, and I like how we got some LFOs. Let me mess around with the LFO maybe. This is what I've been doing, like after work. Even though I work, you know, I'm away from the house like 16 hours, I still have to come in, and then I'll just pop on the live, you know, a few minutes before I go to sleep. Let's mess with this LFO for a second. I wonder if stereo comes out. Let me put that LFO to the pan. Put the rate down a bit. Turn that fade down. Yeah. I mean, the more time you spend with anything, you're gonna figure out the workflow of it for sure. But what got me to get the live is because it had the audio tracks and standalone. Like it had the audio tracks in standalone. Whereas, and you know, I tried to work with the machine inside of Ableton Live and try to get the, you know, merge the two, and that was just, it was so challenging to, because then you have to learn the machine and you got to learn Ableton, and now I'm just like, let's get one machine and let's learn it. You know, that's kind of like how I'm thinking about it. Let me just learn one machine and learn it well. But yeah, stereo coming through, nice. Of course, I hear it because I got my headphones right into the mixer. But yeah, that's cool because there's an option for stereo, I guess, in the software, the application here. So it's pretty cool. But yeah. Anyways, just kind of hanging out now, man. I played the sequence, doing a little testing. What else do I want to do? Is there any way to copy MIDI channel information to the next sequence? For instance, it's annoying to have to set the MIDI channel for each device in every track. So MIDI channel information. Mm, yeah, I get you. Like if you want to go to like a new sequence, I mean, you could always copy your track over, right? Let's see. I don't know. Let's find out. So that's not going to work, but you could try to copy your. Let's see. Would it copy events work for that? Let's see. You could copy your track from copy events over to the new sequence, and that should copy everything from that track, I would believe. Like for example, say let's just, now I'm not using any MIDI devices, but let's say I had program 2 and MIDI channel 7 on track 8, and I wanted to keep these settings. This is, I think, what you're asking, right? You want to keep these settings and just copy it over. I think the only way to do that, unless you do a template and just have your template made. So what you could always do is make a template and then have sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all your sequences set out to your template. So if you have 3 different MIDI devices, you just have 3 MIDI tracks and then have that set on each of your sequence, which could work. Or you could just copy your events over like this, and I could copy that MIDI track, replace it. Let's see. So I could copy events to sequence 4. Replace. You come back. Should work. You have to duplicate the MIDI. Let's see. Yeah, it's interesting because the MPC Live is so like the way it's worked out. It's like everything's like you have to learn how it works. Like it's not always what you would think. It's not like the easiest thing in your head. What you think would be easy to do is not necessarily like that on the MPC Live. So if you got to figure out how it works, and you got to basically, problem solve, I guess, until you figure it out. I mean, to master this thing, you got to put in hours upon hours of work into it. So I'm just trying to see if I can actually copy, because you can copy a track to a new track, like within the sequence. So if I wanted to put track 9 to track 10, so track 10 should have, the same information. So you could, if you're working within a sequence, you could copy your track. But let's try this. All right, so say if you wanted to copy it, I want to try to copy it from sequence 3 to sequence 4. Like if you copy your events, you should be able to copy sequence 3, track 10. You could copy whatever events. See, I don't know. Let's try it. Let's try it anyway. Replace. No, it doesn't really work. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Get back to you. Duplicate track. But can you duplicate the track to a new sequence? You could copy your track and should copy like all that information to the next track. Now you could always copy a sequence. Yeah, you can always copy your sequences over, and it will copy all the information, over. But because usually when I'm working, like say, like I don't even know what sequence am I working on. That's kind of what I'll do whenever I'm working. I'll copy sequences. Let me just try to open this up again because it's all jacked up. But I'll copy sequences over. That's the way I like to work. I know in one of my tutorials I did where like I made one sequence and copied it a few times. But a lot of times whenever I'm making a song, I'll put the sequence in there and I'll have like the drums and the bass, and then I'll copy that sequence over and then add a new element and then copy it over and add a new element and keep doing it like that. And kind of build the sequences as I'm going. That's kind of how I like to work. But yeah, let me reload this thing up because I got it all messed up. Let's see. There we go. All right. All right, so I already have something on sequence 1. Got something on sequence 2. Sequence 3 is unused. So like if I wanted to copy all this information to the next sequence, I could do that. So sequence 1 to sequence 3, do it. So now, let me rename it. I always like to rename them too. So now I got sequence 3, 1, 2, and 3. So now everything on sequence 1 is on sequence 3. So all those MIDI tracks, or in this case, plugin tracks, will be on sequence 3 as well. And then I can add on to it. And I learned something. You can only have 8 plugins at a time on here, which is, I guess it's a reasonable limitation. Now the thing, when you copy the whole sequence, you're copying the whole sequence. So if you wanted to start over, then you'd have to erase whatever in the new thing. So yeah, I hope that helps out. Anyway, any other questions? I mean, while I'm just hanging out, I could try to answer them. Like, to be honest, I'm a student of this thing myself, but some things make sense, and I like to share those things. Yeah, 2.3. I love this update. I love having these sequences, or these synthesizers. And I love doing this too. Like if you hold the menu button, it's a menu in that. Yeah. I'm not really into the electric plugin. I'm not like a keyboard player, so it doesn't really excite me that much. But yeah, if you push that menu button, then you could just tap the pad and it takes you over, to program edit or wherever you want. Is there any way to record? Sorry, guys. Is there any way to record BPM changes in a sequence? No, there is not. Now, I heard that this was available on like the MPC 4000, but in the MPC Live, it is not possible, unfortunately. So if you got your sequence here, and your sequence dictates your BPM. So right now it's set on sequence, and then you have your master BPM. But I wonder if you can automate that. Let's try that. You know, you never know till you try, right? So I have it on master now. If I try to write that, so I have it on write. See if I can copy it, if I can. Now I'll put it on read. No, it didn't work. That would be cool if you could, even if you could just go between the master and the individual sequence tempo and be able to automate it. That would be cool. When you first got this, was it easy to set up? I actually did a setup video. The first time I actually plugged it in, I recorded it. So if you want to see that video, you could check it out if you put MPC Live setup something. But I was trying to set up several things at once, and it's actually, once you know what it can do, it's not that difficult to set up. The USB keyboards are plug and play, so all you have to do is plug them in, and they work. But if you watch the video, you see I'm having issues with it because my MIDI cable was broken. But I was also having other issues. The MPC doesn't like to be a slave as far as MIDI clock. Like, you can't use your audio tracks. So I was having issues I thought the whole thing was broken when I first got it, because I was trying to record audio tracks, but I had it slaved to my RC505. And I'm like, how come my audio tracks don't work? It like wouldn't record them. Then I unplugged the RC505 and it started working. I was like, oh, okay, it does work. For a second, I was like, oh, it's too good to be true. Akai Live, there is no audio tracks in standalone. But yeah, it's definitely easy to set up. And you know, you just got to understand a few things, because the MPC standalone itself, like, you could make everything in here. You could record, if you really, really, really wanted to, you could record like full songs in here, right? And it has 8 audio tracks. And that's one of the reasons why I bought it, is because it had the audio tracks built in standalone, because I play guitar. So I wasn't able to do that with Machine. I wasn't able to record my guitar into the Machine. And, you know, that's one of the reasons, the main reason why I wanted to get the Live, because it had the audio tracks built into it. But you just gotta understand what it could do. And it doesn't like being slave to the RC505. I wasn't able to do the audio tracks like I was saying. But it depends on what you want to do, on how easy or difficult it is to set up. Like, like, I want to get to a point where eventually I'm probably going to track things out into Pro Tools. So I have to figure out how to use the Live to do that. But because there are definitely advantages to having it tracked out in the software. But yeah, I hope they increase the audio tracks to about 32. Now, the only way they'd be able to get away with doing that is if they made it to where you can stream the audio tracks off of the hard drive. Because if you fill up 8 audio tracks in here and you actually have something on all the audio tracks, you run out of memory, basically, is what it comes down to. Because there's only 2 gig of RAM. And it starts acting funky, like drum machines do when they fill up on RAM. So yeah, so if they made it to where you can stream your audio tracks from the hard drive, which is another feature that, from what I understand, was available on the previous MPCs, on some of the previous MPCs, which I'm not sure, but because I never used that functionality, but I read about it somewhere. But yeah, if you could stream the audio from the hard drive and then you could add it to 32 or 16 even, yeah, that would be cool. Because when I got this, I was like, wow, we got it. Basically, you have an 8-track with a awesome MPC. So you got like an MPC with an 8-track built into it was kind of like my thought process. It's like, you know, I could, because, you know, when I started playing guitar or whatever, I played in bands. So we would record on 4 tracks. And I was like, well, you could have that functionality standalone. This is awesome. But, yeah. There's a lot of cool things you could do, man. Like, you could double up the... you know, I'll just get on here and just start pushing things. Like, you can double length, half lengths, insert bars. Let's come over here. Let's go to this acoustic. And then I'll like... Here, let's mute some of this stuff. Let me get to this drum track where you can hear the drum track. Like, I'll get on here and I'll, you know, there's like certain things that you could just do. It's pretty cool. Like, you can double speeded the events, so now the drums will be you know, wild. And another cool thing you can do, like whenever I'm trying to build a drum track, I have a bunch of kits just loaded in there. So I'll just load, like I'll program a drum track and then just go through the kits. Excuse me. Anyway, yeah, I'll go through and I'll just mess with all the kits. And then when I'm scrolling through there, I'll like hear a snare I like or something, and then I'll hear a bass drum I like. Then I'll just take those elements and then make my own drum kit. And then, you know, add whatever effects I want. Yeah, once I'm done with this live stream, I'm going to, you know, I got a few records over there. Might lift a few sounds just for my experiments. And I got some good drum breaks that I'm gonna record. But you definitely have some sounds in the built-in library. So if you want to hook this up to PC software without having to have MPC 2.0 open, get MIDI to USB cable. Yeah, that's what I want to do actually, because I really like the functionality of standalone. I don't like the software that much. Like, it's functional. Like, if you got a MPC Touch, it basically works the same as the live. But you could turn your computer screen away from you and just use the MPC Touch, and it works basically like the MPC Live, you know. But the issue is the software has there's definitely issues in the software. Like, the plugins create delays. Like, there's no delay compensation. There's no buses, so you can't route your audio within the software. So, like, for example, in Pro Tools, you have the delay compensation on the plugins, and you have, you know, different routing options for your buses. So you could use sidechain, for example. You could sidechain things. You know, there's all kind of advantages to using software. But you know, definitely you could do a lot in standalone. So I figured, you know, build a song standalone, track it out. But there's one thing that you lose though with the software is if you use the plugin inside of Pro Tools, for example, like you can't use, like it doesn't function the same. Like you can't push play, start, overdub, and everything like you would do in standalone. If you got standalone, like I want to be able to push play on my MPC and then have my Pro Tools start, if that makes sense. And that's how much I like the MPC. I want it to be the centerpiece. And then basically I don't want to do any MIDI. I don't really want to use the MIDI tracks inside of Pro Tools. I would just use it for like basic, mixing and mastering. But yeah. You know what? Let me just do this. And then this is why I always rename it, because when you copy a sequence over, it always, keeps the same sequence name. So I always like to rename them so I don't get confused. Oh, 2. What did I copy it to? 4? Sequence 4. Nice. Without MPC 2.0 open, so glad I can. Yeah. So what do you like? Just sync it with the MIDI clock, with the MPC Live with the MIDI clock. Like, do you send the MIDI clock out of your live to the software, or from the software to the live? How do you do that? All right, so I have this. So what I'm gonna do, I just want to clear it. Then pull in my kit. I didn't save my kit before I reloaded it. There it is. Let me rename that, because it says acoustic kit, but I actually replaced the bass and the snare in this kit. So let me do this. Boom. Come over here. I'll just save it. I always do that because there's a delay. Save. All right. All right. Now, let me mute that bass too for the moment. Go ahead and come over here. Then come back over here. Now I like this feature. Yeah, you can see the cue links. So I'll show you this. So when you come here, you can zoom in and scroll through the cue links. Just actually like that. That was kind of quirky. Why did it zoom back out? I want to shrink this down. 4 bars. Even do 2 bars. Just so I can put some sounds in here, you know what I'm saying? Get some sounds in there. Now the only thing I wish with this, I wish there was a way to scroll up and down the piano roll with the cue links. I don't know why they omitted that option. This is another thing that's funny about the MPC, right? So you have your plugin, right? You have your plugin programs. Okay, and then you have the volume of that particular track, but then you have the volume of your program. That could be confusing if you're not familiar. Now I haven't messed with this bass line too much. Chorus. Yeah. But yeah, man, this is what I've been doing. Just get in here, just start tweaking this stuff, man. Like, I haven't even messed with this one too much. Mess with that oscillator. I haven't even read about it, so I don't even really know what some of this stuff does. A little boost. Envelope. Waveform. Let's change this waveform. It's the square. Ah, it's one of those variable waveforms. Sine. delay effects, your compressor. So I guess it looks like this is a frequency booster. Yeah. Let's see what we got on this one. Let's go ahead and clear this one. I'll just duplicate this real fast, or double it, I mean. Oh, I got my freaking quantized one. Oops. It's another thing you got to learn, you know, how this grid works too. So you go in there, fix your boo-boos. Or yeah, I could just re-record it, but you know. Which I probably will. Boom, boom. Oop, what am I doing? like that quad. Anyway, this is what I've been doing the past few nights, just hanging out, figuring out these sounds, going in here, you know. It's the only way to get better, you know, and figure out what this stuff does is actually experience it, you know. You don't always got to create a masterpiece either, you know. Well, I gotta get over to, I gotta start sampling some stuff. It's cool hanging out, y'all. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the little conversation, what have you. Yeah. Let me know what you guys want to see in some upcoming videos. I'll try to get it to you. I'm gonna go hook up my turntable now. And thanks for hanging out, y'all. Absolutely, man. God bless for sure.